get started here. Talk about last week's game, and a little bit easier to remember it. Last time it was like 8 days, right? So getting used to this new Wednesday schedule here. So as we talk about last week's game, obviously the fast start was really critical for us to come out and get some quick scores like we did. The first drive was a really good drive. It was a real physical run game, and threw the ball when we needed to throw it, and threw it efficiently on that drive. But most of it was dominated by good run blocking and good running by the backs, and got the ball in the end zone and took the lead. And then the rest of that quarter pretty much was indicative of how we can play when we do get an early lead, because I think when we get early leads, it really helps our defense. And obviously we haven't done that this year, is come out and play fast and quick as we did. That second play, the first play of the second drive, where we ran the combination route outside, and Cade put a perfect throw on the ball, and Kelly made a really good catch looking over his shoulder, but the ball was up there high, and the higher it is like that, the longer Kelly could see it. And so he made a great play, outran the secondary after the catch, and got us off to a 14-0 lead. And then from that point on, now our defense can become even more aggressive. And then the third drive, we capitalized again and got a good play action pass, and on the play action pass, Kelly again came wide open, going in to finish out and get that 21-0 lead. So again, the fast start, the good execution. Cade ran the offense really well. Kelly and JB made some really good catches on those first three series. We ran the ball well, and had a super productive first half. I didn't even realize it. I don't look at the halftime stats very often, and so I didn't realize we had 322 yards in the first half. So that was really, what a tremendous effort for us. And from that point on, we just played the game the way we needed to play it, right? We didn't take a whole lot of chances. There were some opportunities where I maybe could have taken some chances to go. We could have taken some chances to go for it. But I just felt like the way our defense was playing and the way we were, controlling the clock, we didn't want to take a whole lot of unnecessary chances. Again, and I just think that's the way you call a game when you're not trying to pad stats or anything. You're just trying to get a W. We did have one pass play, one route called there in the third quarter, and Jeremiah Ballard came wide open down the middle of the field, but we got a pressure when we kind of came out and decided to take another shot. He was probably 10 to 15 yards behind the defense, and we gave up just enough pressure that he couldn't get the throw off, that Cade couldn't get the throw off, for that probably would have put the game away there. I mean, because he was incredibly open on that route. But in synopsis, the lead allowed our defense to play more aggressive. Our defense ended up having, I think, after we tallied all the sacks, it was 8 sacks in the game, not 6, and so what an effort. Praise was able to get his, break the school record for sacks. But when you read the stat sheet for Praise and Canias and Mo Westmoreland, it's like reading one for half a season, right? Those guys, the totals and the tackle for losses and the sacks that three of our defensive ends had in that game was just outstanding. So the synopsis of it all is, let's start faster, because when we start faster, that dictates to some of the strengths of our football team, which is our offensive line and defensive line, right? So that's what we need to do each and every week if we can. That's a lot easier said than done, but obviously when we do that, we're a whole lot different football team. I was really pleased with the play of a lot of guys across the board. Defensively, I thought our secondary did because as we talked about, post-game, a lot of the sacks were coverage sacks too, right? So our defense did a really good job of covering up their receivers, and then offensive line I thought played well. I thought the Dion Torrance combination was really good. I think those two really fed off of each other. When Torrance got in there, he looked outstanding. He made some really good runs again, like he does each and every week. And I thought our tight ends and fullbacks blocked, really well and did some good things. So overall, good performance. I thought our kickoff, some of our special teams, our kickoff coverage was just tremendous. We kept coming down the field and making some big hits on kickoff cover. So all that was good. It was really important to get road wins. We talked about road conference wins
are so big in each and every team's leagues that they play in, and so that was important for us to get one of those, and it gets us back home again, on a Wednesday, playing in the Sun Bowl on a Wednesday, which will be the first time that we've had the opportunity to do that, and so it should be exciting to have a Wednesday game here. Looking forward to it, and playing New Mexico State, which obviously is a huge rivalry game for both programs. And so, talking about New Mexico State, they've started off and had a good start to their season. They have a lot of skill on offense. They got good receivers. They got good running backs. They got a good quarterback, and have obviously had some success this year with those guys. Defensively, they're very aggressive defensively with what they do. A lot of pressures in the defensive scheme that they have, and so a lot of preparation for us goes into this game, and obviously, always a fun game to play. So whenever you have your rivalry game, it's great. I think it's great that it's on national TV. I think that's good exposure for both programs, and we're looking forward to the opportunity. So I'll open up to questions from there.
Coach, of the 28 quarters this year, that first one was a lot different than the other 27. Was that play calling? Was it Cade checking out of things? Is it something you can duplicate and do again?
I hope we can. I hope we can. It was a combination of a lot of. There's a combination of execution, of us being able to execute at a high level of what we did, and then also, taking the things that were there. But just great. When I say execution, there was just some really good throws and catches going on, and so that performance was good. One of the 40-yard, I don't remember how long it was, but the catch to Jeremiah Ballard that we had there early, that was a check by Cade. He checked into that. He saw the look that he was getting, and he checked into it. So it was a combination of all those things. I think Cade just managed the offense well. The receivers played outstanding. The line did a good job of blocking for him. So all that stuff was, all of it combined was important for us to have that kind of, to have those kind of numbers. Everything's got to be humming on all cylinders to have that kind of production that we had. But the big thing, too, I've said all along, is that we were 128th in the country in turnover margin, right? And so we won the turnover margin and we won the game. And if we would have done that in other games, we probably would have won. There's not a game we go into the rest of the season that if we don't win the turnover margin, we probably have a good chance of winning it. So I think that's a big stat for us as well.
Is he earned the starting spot for this game?
Yes. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, definitely. Definitely will start, as long as Gavin's status stays, where it is right now. We're not sure where Gavin's status will be as he goes through the week right now. But Cade right now is, penciled in to be the starter for sure.
Is that something? If Gavin's healthy, would you put him in there? If he's healthy, do you still keep Cade?
That's a controversial question, right? Yeah. I don't have to go there right now. I don't have to go there, so I won't, right? Because it's not a case in point right now. But it's a good question.
The level of play of what nobody would have imagined.
Yeah.
On your fourth level quarterback.
Right.
And in game situation.
Yeah, I'm just really proud of him. Really proud of what he did. Really proud of the way he handled it. But he told me Tuesday, he said, "I'm not nervous. I'm not going to be nervous for this game. I'm not nervous. I'm prepared." And he's just a case in point of somebody that sat there and was our fourth-string quarterback and never came to practice one day with pouting or acting like I should be number one, I'm the best guy, nothing but supportive of the other three guys. And then the next thing was taking diligent notes at every meeting, right? Like he was starting. He prepared like he was starting. And very seldom do you get to your fourth-string quarterback, right? I mean, very seldom does that happen. But when we did, it was because the way he prepared himself. Instead of feeling sorry for himself or pouting about it, he just prepared himself like he was a starter. And that's what happens when you do that, when you have that kind of character. I think that's an important lesson for everybody to learn. To have that kind of work ethic and character pays off. So that was a big thing for him. And then the other thing I didn't talk about, because part of the Luke Laufenberg Award winner on offense was Kevin Hurley, because he comes in there on 3rd and 11 and throws a 40-yard pass right on the money. I mean, what a big play that was. And he did it all week in practice, not all week because he was only back for 2 days because of the concussion protocol, but he did the same thing in practice. For those of you that were at practice all week, he was throwing deep balls right on the money, and that's one of the things Kevin does really well. So that was nice to see too, is for Kevin to be able to do those things too for us. So I thought he made a big play as well.
Was the default part of the game plan going into it against FIU?
It is, it always is, because I thought one of the big things, Cap, for us was the things that we did, like the things that when our offense is humming, our yards per completion is really high, and that's the thing that's been missing, right? So far, is we haven't had the big plays, right? We haven't created enough big plays, and so that was a big step for us. And so, it was in the game plan definitely. Like for instance, we have a category called shot plays, and so we had 29 shot plays in our game plan last week. So it was a big part of the game plan.
And I know you said you were headed into the game confident in what Cade could do out there, but did you even expect that first quarter, to come out throw an 80-yard bomb and follow it up with a 23-yard play to the back of the end zone? That first quarter, were you?
Yeah, he was pristine in his passes. It was just where the passes were thrown were absolutely right on target, and the receivers just ran right by their guys too. And it was nice to see, because Kelly on Monday, we didn't know if on Tuesday we didn't know if Kelly's going to be able to play on Wednesday, right? Because he was a little bit beat up going into the game, and so for him to come out and play that way too was great, and Jeremiah and Kelly played extremely well too, on their behalf.
I didn't quite understand. I was asking Kelly and Cade this, and I didn't quite understand the explanation, but they said that 80-yard pass was kind of a semi-busted play, called in wrong or something. What happened?
Oh, it was a play that we had in the game plan, but we called a different play on the wristband, and so that play got in there. Finally, we got it in there late and got lined up and got it out there. But initially, it was a wrong play call on the wristband. Yeah.
Can you talk about Gavin's role through all this and just helping out the younger guys? With him being
Oh my gosh, yeah. He has been he has been so good through all this, and it's so frustrating for him. But again, we all know Gavin's characteristics, what kind of person he is. But it's been, it's really frustrating for him, especially with a rivalry game like this coming up, but he's not sure whether he's going to be able to play or not. And we won't know again until Tuesday morning whether he's going to be able to play. We're getting some more tests done. We got some more tests done on it yesterday, and we should get those results back this afternoon to find out where he is. Maybe that'll tell us more besides wait until the day before the game each time. And but he's legitimately, it's a legitimate, because I think someone had said to me that, is Gavin out for the year and you're just not telling anybody? And that's not the case at all. That's not what I'm gonna do, right? He's very, one of these days it's gonna be better, boom, right? And he's hoping every day, but the more you rest it, the only way it's gonna heal is to rest it. So each Tuesday for the next 2 weeks, and hopefully just this 1 week, we'll put him out there on Tuesday and see how he's doing. But he's handled it extremely well. He's such a team player. And it's funny because the camaraderie in that quarterback room is fantastic. They're all rooting for each other, and that's why Cade was able to handle the situation so well, because he wasn't upset that the other guys were playing, because he was just pulling for the other guys, and the whole time he was studying and learning and progressing in the system himself. And it's the same way with Gavin right now. Even though he's not able to play, he's still pulling for and helping the other quarterbacks with all the experience that he has.
Obviously, the 100th edition of the Battle of I-10. What makes this rivalry, and you've been a part of, I think this is the 5th one, what makes it just so special for you to get a chance to coach?
Yeah, I love it. Rivalries are fantastic, and what happens is, it's the proximity between the two schools, and it's been going for, like you said, the 100th contest, which is really neat. And both the schools are so similar in so many ways as far as the proximity of where we recruit. You know what I mean? So it's important with recruiting too, as well. And you just love rivalries. That's what college football is all about, is the rivalries. And so this one's a rivalry that's been around for a long, long time, and it's really important to both programs, And so from the very first minute I got here, I realized how important the rivalry is.
And this is also the first year in a long time that it will be a conference game.
Yes.
An opportunity for you guys to also get your conference record back to 500. Just the importance of
yeah, because it's a conference game, you know, where it lies right in the heart of both of our, you know, the second half of each of our seasons, you know, to get you momentum down the stretch. It has so many important things because of those things. But being the conference makes it important because a chance for us to get to 500 in conference is really, really an important goal for us to get to. And you know, it's a chance to play at home, you know, a home conference game, and we got to be really good at home conference games.
How do you slow down Pavia, and what do you think of Pavia?
Yeah, he's a really good player, you know, and it's not easy to slow him down. You know what I mean? He's very talented, very competitive player, and does a lot for their offense. You know, he's just you know, very much a huge part of what they do offensively. They're like anybody. They know how to use their playmakers, and he's definitely a playmaker for them.
Special teams coach, do you chalk the onside kick just a mishap right there? Is that something you guys want to clean up 3 weeks in a row with something on
Yes,
special teams?
absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's the thing. Fortunately, that one didn't cost us, but the other two special teams were dramatic for us. I mean, dramatic. As I look back and look at those games, I thought they were huge, pivotal plays in the game, and that one very well could have been. Now, we weren't surprised by the onside. We actually had run 2 guys up there. We knew what was coming, and so we got ourselves in position to field it, and we just didn't field it. It just went right through one of our guys' hands. But that could have been a big play. But you talk about tenacity of our defense right there. Instead of, you know, oh gosh, here we go, you know, momentum switched. Our defense just locks down and holds them right there, and that was a huge drive for us.
To your point on that second down, Westmoreland gets the sack and kind of really helps out the Miners on defense. What has he really done for this team, you know, through this stretch?
Yeah, no, he's a guy that probably hasn't got the attention that he deserves to get. And like I said, when I read his stat sheet from the game today, when we talk about the helmet decals and the Luke Laufenberg Award winner and player of the game and all those things, when I read his stats, I said, these are stats for half a season for a lot of guys, you know. So he did it in one game, but he's had a couple games here, you know, in the last few games where he's been very productive and very disruptive with what he did. And so Mo is playing to the potential that we all knew that he had, and that's going to be important now in all these games down the stretch, that Mo compliments praise. And then Kanias Vaughn's stats are like we were when we recruited him. You know, he had 11 and a half sacks in 5 games, the last 5 games of the year at his junior college. And he played, I think, 18 or 20 snaps. In the last 2 games, he's played 20 or less snaps, and he's had 5 sacks, right, in 40 snaps. So think about that production that he's done for us too, besides tackles for losses. So the 3 of those guys are such a compliment. And then we moved K.D. Johnson out to back up Mo at the defensive end position, and then he played both inside and outside, and he played outstanding too. So our D-line's playing at a real high level right now, which is good for us.
All those Kilgore guys, how come Mo gets the number 0? Isn't that the big deal with them?
Yeah, well, so here's our deal. Because I heard you talking to him today. So Kilgore gives their most, like we give number 2, their most reliable, accountable player number 0. And so Kelton Moss was number 0, and then Mo Westmoreland was number 0, and then K.D. Johnson was number 0, right? So we gave it to Mo because he was the oldest of those guys since Kelton left.
For New Mexico State, it seems like the last couple of games has been maybe their most consistent play on the field. Is that what you're seeing on film, and then just how do you
Yes.
slow their momentum?
Yes. Yeah, no, they've got on a good run. That's a real good point. They have played really well as of late, you know, and got some big wins for their program here down the stretch. And I think they're playing their best football right now. I definitely do. And so that's going to be important for us to know that we're playing a team that's playing hot right now, you know, and be ready to match that.
How do you stop a running quarterback at the level that New Mexico State's quarterback?
Yeah, it's a big weapon for you. You know, when you have a running quarterback, it's a huge weapon for you, and that's going to be an important part of this game for sure. And it's not easy. It's not easy at all. You know, it's definitely going to be a big challenge for us to be able to do that.
Has Buzz Flaviano received any Pat McAfee for the brand merchandise since the shout out on Wednesday night?
What happened with him? I don't know.
Pat was very impressed with the unsportsmanlike
jeez.
He called Buzz a dog. He said that refs just don't understand what kickers go through.
Yeah, I didn't catch any of that. Yeah, I heard that. Someone told me in the locker room, one of the coaches told me that he had got some media attention from that. Well, I don't know if I should make a comment on that or not, but Buzz is a feisty guy, you know, and he's got a cannon for a leg, and he's got potential, and you know, obviously he didn't make some of the kicks that we wanted him to make in the game, but that's part of growth with a young kicker, and I knew that was going to be part of this season. But the thing I do like about him is his, you know, ability to hit the ball and be good, and that part of it, we're looking forward to him coming along and doing some good things down the stretch for us right here. So, but he's a competitive kid, which is good. I like that.
Is that what you want to see? You know,
Yes.
offensively, just kind of finishing drives, so, you know, going with the field goal, just finishing drives and touchdowns.
Yes, gosh, that was huge. Yeah, I mean, we had a chance to put that thing completely out of reach a few times. We got, you know what, we got this game too, that Tysh and I talk about all the time. We finally got some average drive start, right? I mean, we finally got the ball in field position to be able to finish drive, you know, start drives, and then we had chances to finish, and I was a little bit frustrated that we didn't, you know, pop a couple of those in for touchdowns right there, because that would have closed the game out, and I thought we could have been better with that. But we got some ideas on how to complement that part of the field in our run game to help us out, you know, when we need to finish drives. So that's definitely could have been a big part of the game if our defense didn't do such a great job of holding their offense.
One last thing on Cage. What about his game from Wednesday do you feel like is most replicable next Wednesday and then moving forward?
Yeah, because that's the thing, you know, it's consistency now, you know, for him, and it's consistency as he leads the offense and playing into his strengths, and his strengths are a great understanding of what defenses do, you know, and that's where he can really, you know, help the offense out, because, you know, pressure looks, he has a great understanding of where they are, what they're coming from, and what your weaknesses are, and that's one of his best attributes, you know, and I think he took advantage of that. So his ability to throw the ball with a lot of accuracy, a lot of touch, and his ability to recognize defenses is really one of his strengths, and I think that's going to be, you know, really important for him as he continues to go through the rest of the season.
How big is it, the national exposure, particularly at home and in this rivalry game? How big for the program?
It's great, yeah. It's great to be in the Sun Bowl and have one, but it's amazing. We were just talking about that too as coaches in the locker room, how many shout outs we got from fellow colleagues and people across the country that you haven't heard from, because these games on Tuesday, Wednesday nights, especially the Tuesday, Wednesday night games, because Thursday, Fridays get a little bit skewed by other things, you know, whether it's high school football in states or it's Thursday night, other football games that are going on in college. But the Tuesday, Wednesday night games, it's incredible how many people reach out to you that get to see those games. So it's really good. It's just what the conference wanted. It's a lot of exposure for the conference.
Was it extra special to win on John Teicher's 500th career broadcast?
Absolutely, sure was. Yep, that was incredible to get that win, make that 500th a good one, a one to remember. And I actually did a radio shot for this weekend in Kansas City, and Kansas State's play-by-play person had contacted me, and he said, I have 448, and I thought I had the lot. He says, tell Tice congratulations on 500. So he said, that's so he said 500, yeah. So he said 500 is incredible. So congratulations to Tice again on that.
Do you regret going to the New Mexico Bowl so that the 500th broadcast in his career couldn't be the 100th that likely?
No.
That's the conference's fault.
That- yeah.
Yeah.
Yep.
Anything else?
That's good. Okay, thanks, guys. Appreciate you, ladies.